Good morning, and thank you for joining me. My name is Joya, and I'm with Hawks Learning. I'm going to go over how to review assignments. I will be getting started here soon. I'm going to give everyone a chance to load in really quickly. All right, so it looks like everyone has loaded in. So as I mentioned before, my name is Julia. I'm with Hawks Learning. I will be going over how to review assignments within the gradebook. To get started, what we'll first do is go under the reports tab, and I want to show you the different places that you can actually access the assignment review for each student. And then we will go to our assignment reviewer report to review the assignment. So within the gradebook, you can go to the reports tab. So underneath the reports tab, you'll be able to see our key reports up here at the top. The first report in which you can access the student review is under all student scores. So I'm going to go into all student scores. And here underneath all student scores, you'll be able to filter by your section, of course, here. You can then also select a specific student or multiple students, however you would like it to display. So I'm going to actually select, I'm not going to select any specific students because I want to see the entire class, but I am going to select our assignment type here just for the display purposes. So here we'll go to display student scores. This is going to then display all of our students and how they are doing on those assignments. So the way you can access it through all student scores is to then click on either the score of the assignment if you're looking at a web test or the graphical icon for a lesson. So you'll click on that lesson icon and then you can click on review assignment from all student scores. Our second way is to come back up to reports and then go to detail student grades. So underneath detailed student grades, you'll then be able to either type in the student's name or of course, scroll down on the list below to select the student. Once on that student's scores, you can then come down, find the specific lesson or test, and click the actions button on the right-hand side. That is then going to allow you to review the assignment for the student as well. Our next feature here is we're going to go back to our reports tab. And the last one is our assignment reviewer. So this is our most comprehensive report for reviewing assignments for students because it's going to give you all the data that you need for reviewing those courses. So we'll select our section first up here at the top. We can then see our lessons here. So once we review our lessons and our submission status, we can go down to the bottom and click on the lesson name. Once you click on the lesson name, it's going to show you a list of students and how they are performing in the class. So it's the same information you get in all student scores and detailed student grades, but this is a more comparative view here. To review a student's assignment, you'll then click on the student's name on the left-hand side. It'll then open up in a new tab. And for our Certify or our lessons, it's always going to show you the required information for students, so the due date, the submission status for that student, and then required mastery for that particular lesson. And then right underneath is going to show you the number of attempts the students have, and then also if they mastered in the time they spent on that assignment. To review the assignment, we'll go over to the right-hand side and click Review Attempt. Once you select review attempt, it's then going to open up that student's attempt here. So here you'll see that you can start on the first question for that student. If you want to navigate to a question very quickly for that student, you can then click on the questions button on the top left, click the drop down and quickly navigate to another question. Another feature that a lot of instructors like to use is the hide correct to quickly just view the incorrect questions for that student. Here you can see, of course, what the student answered versus the software itself. And then on the right-hand side, if you want to see what our courseware gave the student in terms of feedback, you can go over to explain error. And this is where you can see the explain error that we give the students in order to better explain what they got wrong and how to approach it going forward. So you can also see the links that we provide them if we provide them links to any terminology or concepts or formulas here. The next thing is on the top right is our solution. So the solution is going to show the student how to work out the problem or how they should have approached the problem. So this is the same solution that we provided that student. That way, if you're wondering what the students are receiving in terms of assistance from the courseware, you can see that on your end as well. So what I'll do now is I'll go back up to return to review on the top left. You can then, of course, go right back to that question tab, unselect hide correct, and look at their other answers as well. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll close out of this one and go back to our assignments results. So here underneath assignment reviewer and assignment results, you can quickly navigate to another assignment as well here. So if you wanted to go to another lesson, you could view another lesson or go to a test. Alternatively, you can go to the top left and go back to the assignment review. And once you get back to assignment review, you'll then be able to go into the web test tab. So underneath the web test tab, you'll have that same information, the submission status for the assignments. And then beneath that, we have our assignment itself. So I'm going to go ahead and go into our test. And then I'll click on our first student review. So the web test review is a little bit different. Of course, it's going to display all of the grading requirements that you have for your test. So it's going to give a breakdown of the start and end date of the test, attempts remaining, grading method, and so on for the students. Same information down here at the bottom. You can see the score, number of attempts, and time taken. On the right-hand side, when you click review, you're going to see a little bit of a difference here because we're going to come to that summary screen that's going to show you how the student performed overall. And it's going to break it down by lesson for the students. Once you're ready to review that student's assignment, you'll click on the next button over here on the right. And now that we are in the assignment itself, we can see how the student performed on the incorrect questions and what their answers were in comparison to the Hawk's answers. So by default, it's going to select our hide correct. You can unselect this to view all of the questions for the student. Additionally, we do have a new feature that we've released recently over the Christmas break. That's really exciting for instructors. This feature is to review by question for the test. So the recommended order to do this is to make sure that you select the assignment builder order. And the reason for that is because the web test is randomized by default unless you have locked the order of your questions. So students are receiving the questions in different orders and have algorithmically generated values. But if you want to see them in the specific order that you place them on the test, you'll select the assignment builder order. And this way you can quickly go over to the top here and click on the arrow to the right beside the student name to quickly go to another student to see how that student performed as well. So you can see here that we've gone to a new student. You can see how they performed on that question. You can also if you would like to see a holistic view of the class, you can come up here to the top, and then you can simply go to the hide, correct, and unselect that. That way you can see all of the students, how they performed, even if they did get it correct, just to take a look at the entire class in one fell swoop. We know that that's one of the preferred method by instructors to be able to see every single question by student, but you can also do the hide correct if you just want to see the incorrect as well. So for this one, you can still use that question button up here on the top left to click that drop down and quickly navigate to a different question as well. At any point when you're reviewing the assignment, you can then also, for incorrect answers or even correct answers, if you want to change the score that is listed there for that question, you can simply navigate to that incorrect question, and then you can enter in that score and click Save Score. That is going to allow you to quickly update those student questions, especially if you have a question where students all seem to kind of do poorly on that question and you want to give them that credit. You can quickly navigate between each student who got that incorrect and add that score for the students. Additionally, the same thing with the Certify portion, we do have the tutor. If you're just wanting to see how we work through it on our end, you can use the Open Tutor option here to quickly view how we work it through on our system, just to understand how our system broke down the problem behind closed doors, of course, to see, well, how did Hawks arrive to this question? You can come here, see our explain error, and also see our solution. That way, if you want to see how we're working that problem out, if there's a certain rounding procedure that's being used, you can see that information as well. So now I will return to our test. For the test, this concludes how to review the assignment for each test. We've also gone over how to review the certifies as well. As a reminder, you can access these through the all student scores and through detailed student grades for each individual student. If you're wanting to do a review by question for all students, you'll want to do the web test. That is the area in which that feature is available. So that concludes our review of how to review assignments within Hawks. I want to thank everyone for joining me. I will be here for a Q&A after our session. So if you have any questions, please feel free to stay and send your questions in. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.